Hello guys, so one of my most requested videos of all time is how I do my hair and how I get it curly, how I straighten it, what products I use, all of that kind of thing. So I thought I would make one video that talks through absolutely every single product that I use on my hair, whether that's for a hair mask, washing it, styling it, the products I use, the tools I use. The whole shebang is going to be in this video. If you are London based and you wanted to use the same stylist, I go to Live True London, which is obviously in London, and I get my hair done by Paco. I'll leave the link down below to the salon and Paco's Instagram personally, because he's really good at balayage, colour correcting. He is like a hair magician. I'm going to stop talking. Here is the clips of me doing my hair. So first up, I always put a hair mask on. Well, I say always. I'd say 9 washes out of 10 I put a hair mask on before I wash my hair, because obviously it is blonde. It doesn't look it anymore because these roots are growing, but it's blonde. It needs a lot of looking after, and the one thing that I have been told time and time again by my hairdresser is to make sure that I put masks on dry hair before I wash it, just to keep it in good condition and give it all the nutrients and stuff it needs. So that is what I'm doing. I do use normally 2 different masks at once, but today I've got 3 because one is running out. So my absolute holy grail one, Olaplex number 3, I feel like everyone knows that one is the absolute best hair mask you can use in the world. Put it on dry hair and it actually works a lot better than putting it on wet hair. And then I'm actually going to mix in a tiny little bit of this miracle mask from Bondi Boost, because it's literally, there's nothing left in here, so I thought I might as well just use it up and then I can get rid of the tub. And then the final one I'm using, which is probably going to be like the majority mask, is the Garnier Hair Foods one, which is the goji and soy. It smells amazing. And this one smells really like fruity. They just smell so good. They literally smell like kids yogurts. They're really, really good. So first things first, I'm gonna quickly get my hair out of this bun. I've slept with it like this. I wore it up yesterday, so I mean, it hasn't been washed in about a week. This is like the worst you're ever gonna see my hair, like literally. It was so greasy that I could like leave it back like this. And it stayed. So I'm gonna just part it down the middle. I've got my mirror next to me here, and just brush it through, because I find it way easier to apply products when my hair's like actually brushed. Okay, it's parted. You can literally see how dark my roots are right now. Like, I am in desperate need of a hairdresser. Let's go in first with this one that's running out. There's no rhyme or reason to the like order of this. I literally just slap them all on my head. Okay, and then I'm just gonna apply this all over. Obviously there's not much of it, so it's not gonna go very far, but just give it as even of a coverage as you can. And then I'm gonna go in with this goji one next, because this is gonna be the one that kind of covers the most. And then what I do is basically, I smother my hair and like try and spread it as much as I can with my hands. But then after I've done with my hands, I go through with the brush, because obviously when you brush it through, you can kind of spread it a little bit further. Lockdown is like the perfect time to like really look after your hair and your skin, because where we're stuck inside, you can literally just look like absolute crap for a few days and no one knows it. I spend most of my lockdown time completely like no makeup, hair on top of head, and then I just film the good bits. So what you see is normally the days where I've actually made an effort, or if I'm filming videos. Okay, right, we're gonna go through with the Olaplex, and then I'm gonna give it a good brush and just make sure that I've kind of covered as much as I can. I mean, I go through these very quickly because I use a lot, so I've got a dollop that's like that size. It says you need less than that, but my hair is bleached, so I like to use a considerable amount more than they recommend. And also because it's quite thick. And then I'm just gonna grab it all. I mean, this is definitely not the nicest of like ponytails ever, but I basically just grab it all up and then just twist it into a little bun. And I think when it's kind of twisted into a bun, it helps just kind of coat all of the other little bits. The time is currently 8 o'clock. It's 8:05 in the morning, and I think it's probably going to be on my head for maybe an hour, 2 hours. So I'm going to have some breakfast, do a little tiny bit of work, and then yeah, I've just realised I also haven't uploaded today's video on time. Whoops. It has been a long time, so it's now 9:03. I'm gonna go in with hair stuff. So I've got a few different hair things I use in the shower, just because I like to excessively use products, quite clearly. So I'm gonna use my Bondi Boost shampoo and conditioner, which these are actually the best thing ever. I've been using these since maybe December. I can't remember when I first got sent them, but I did a campaign with them and I'm still using them. I'm on my 2nd conditioner and I'm still on the 1st shampoo, which is how long they're lasting me. So these are the hair growth ones. They're really, really good. I personally really like them, and I also think the bottles are really aesthetic. But They're really good. I'm enjoying them a lot at the moment. Before I was using them, I was using the, I think I've still got it in here, yeah, this Kerastase range, which is the Blonde Absolute, and this is amazing, such a good range. And I actually mix it with the Red Ken, which I still do use. So this Red Ken is the Ultra Pigmented Purple Mask for super cool blondes. So I'm gonna pop this in for about 5 minutes with my conditioner, and obviously this will like help tint my hair a little bit, make it a little bit brighter, because it's getting very like brassy. That's basically what I use on my hair. And then obviously I wash my body and stuff as well, but that's my hair product. So this has been on for literally an hour, and I'm gonna give it a wash off and get rid of my excessive hot water bottle layer. Ugh, there we go. My hair is now towel dried and sat on top of my head. So normally when I wash my hair in the morning, I leave it in a towel while I do my makeup and make myself some breakfast. And then obviously I finish doing my hair after that. So it's kind of half dry at the moment, which is the perfect amount. So what I'm gonna do is eat my little breakfast here, and then I'm gonna tackle my hair. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and obviously brush my hair out. So I've just got my big paddle brush for that. And then I'm gonna pop in my thermal protection mist, but also I'm gonna put in the Olaplex No. 6 Bond Smoother, which is a leave-in conditioner, and it's really good for just like protecting your hair. And also a frizz serum from LV. So this is the Frizz Killer, which is honestly the best thing I've ever used, because I have really frizzy hair since I dyed it. It's something to do with the bleach, so it just helps to like make it look a bit nicer. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop all those products in now. Okay guys, so I realised I just did all of that without talking because I was also filming a IGTV at the same time for a sponsorship. So basically I need to redo that little tiny bit there. My hair just didn't want to straighten today, it's really annoying. So basically what I do is when my hair is like towel dried, I basically then rough dry it with this after I put all the products on. Don't brush it until I've done that. Then I brush it with the brush and then go in with a hot brush. And annoyingly, I do actually have the GHD Helios in the cupboard, but it's right at the back of the cupboard and I just haven't used a hairdryer in quite a while because obviously we've been stuck inside. So I'm still using that one, but I'm going to be turning over to the Helios ASAP. And then this is my hot brush I use, which I actually got because because obviously I had all the hair drama with my hair not being very great for a long time, and I wanted something that was a quick and easy way for me to straighten my hair every day without having to worry about like blow drying it and then straightening it. And I also wanted a bit of volume because I think if I just blow dry and then straighten, it's just quite flat. So I got hold of this one, which I think was like £30. So this is a Tresemme Keratin Smooth one. Really, really cheap. It does the job. I've had it for a while now and I really like it. So I basically then dry all of my hair with that and like shape it. So I do this little like flicky under and I straighten as much as I can. But I find that at the back, at the root, is where my hair is the most wavy because naturally it is so wavy. So I basically just finish off by going over with some GHDs because I find that if I just go over the top of the straightener, it kind of like smooths everything out and it just makes it look really good. And yeah, that's how I basically style and the products I use. And I know a lot of you are probably wondering why I'm not curling it now, but to be completely honest with you, I never curl and wash on the same day. I find that if I curl it now, it drops too quickly. So I always give myself a day with my hair like this, and then I curl it, or I wash it in the evening and dry it in the evening and then curl it first thing in the morning, because it just doesn't look nice. It drops so quickly that it ends up like a weird kink at the end and it's just annoying. So I always leave it like this for at least a day, and I'll get back to you tomorrow when I curl it. Hello guys, as you can see, it's actually a couple of days later and I completely forgot to film the curling part of this video, so I thought that I would come back to it and do it now. I'm going to share with you what I'm going to be using as I get to that point. So first up, I've got this brush, which is actually one from Denman, and this is a really good wet to dry one, which I got gifted by Batiste. It's got the Love is Love on there. And then I'm going to pop in some of the Batiste Touch of Colour. I mention this quite a lot on my socials, but this is basically tinted dry shampoo. It doesn't leave any yellow residue or anything on your hands, but they have a blonde, a brown and a black version of this, so depending on your hair colour you can obviously choose accordingly. But I really like this because even though I've got quite dark roots, like I do have very dark hair underneath all of the blonde, it does actually lighten up my roots a little bit, so it's not as contrasted. So I really like using it. I use it all the time. Chances are any video you've seen of me, I've probably sprayed it in once or twice. And then I'm going to use some of this, which is the Thermal Protect from Bumble and Bumble. I've actually nearly used this up, so I need to get another one, but it's really, really good. It's just a heat protector. And then yeah, let me put this dry shampoo in and then I'll carry on with the other bits. Okay, so I'm just going to spray in this dry shampoo first and foremost. Okay, so you can kind of see what I mean by the colour. It just slightly tints your roots, ever so slightly. And I always just put it through like the front bit and the crown bit here, just because that's the bit of my hair that you normally see the most. It does look a little bit white on camera, but I promise you it is not that white. And basically, like I said, it just lightens up my roots ever so slightly. So you can kind of see now at the front that it just isn't so dark, and it also means that when I tie it up it's not like really, really dark at the front. Okay, so now the dry shampoo is in, I'm going to go in with my curler. So I'm just going to first and foremost give it a little spritz through with heat protector. I always put heat protector on when my hair is wet so that it kind of dries into my hair, and then just give it a little spritz when I do any styling, just so that it's like that extra little bit of something, even though it's already dried in with heat protector. And the heat tool that I use is this one from Mark Hill. So this is the Pick and Mix Styler, which I was kindly gifted a while ago after one of my friends had mentioned that she used it and recommended it. Like, the strangest concept, but also the best in the world. Like, when I first used it, I just couldn't get the hang of it, and now I couldn't imagine using anything else. So this is basically the concept. So the wand comes separately to the heads, and you can get about 6 or 7 different heads, but this is the one that I use the most. This is the medium barrel, and it just pops off really easy. So you just press that little button there and it comes off. But the one thing I love about this is the fact that you can turn it. So when you curl your hair, you can curl it like this so that you can use it more with your arm away from it, as opposed to like this, where it's a bit more like awkward to do. So I pretty much leave mine on the angle at all times, and this is kind of how I use it. And I always start with the left hand side of my hair, so the side that has less hair on it. And I never used to do this, but recently I've been like tying this bit out of the way just so it's not kind of like getting all over the place. But I always start at the back, at the bottom. I take random sections, so I don't by any means try and get like similar sizing or anything. I just pull random little sections like this, but I basically just grab my curler and then grab my little section of hair and just wrap it round like so. And the reason I really like this wand is because it doesn't have any clamps or anything, so it's super easy to use. You just use your hand to control the amount of curl and the size of the curl and all that kind of thing. So you can wrap just the end around if you wanted to, or if you need to go back over and do just like a tiny little bit, then you can. Personally, I just don't really like the clamp ones. I find them a bit irritating, but obviously, yeah, just personal preference if you prefer those. But that's kind of roughly what the curl looks like. So it's very, very quick. And then basically, I just keep grabbing sections of random sizes and giving them a little go over. But like I said, it's really easy because you can control how close to the head you go. You can control how much the curl is. You can like loosely hold it so that it's not too tight, and you can obviously just quickly wrap it around and put it away again. So I'm gonna just curl this side of my head and then get back to you. That is the first side done. I like when it's kind of more beachy and messy. I don't like when my curls are really uniform. I just think it looks a bit nicer. Like, I still love my natural hair, which is very wavy, and I think that sometimes it's nice when it kind of drops really quickly. So this normally doesn't last that long. This is normally kind of, I'd say maybe like a few hours it stays like this, if not less. I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that on the other side and start at the back. So this is where the little twisty bit comes in super handy, because it means that when you're at the back of your head, you can kind of hold it at a better angle. And honestly, it sounds so stupid and you're probably going to be like, why does that even make a difference? But it honestly does. If you do have a different curler, obviously you just hold it in the way that suits you, but that's just personally why I love this one, and I preach it to everyone. I even bought my mum one for Mother's Day because it's just such a handy little fandango. But again, just grabbing random little pieces, nothing too fancy, and just twisting around like so for the entirety of my head. And then when I get to the front, I'll catch up with you again. I also thought I'd just add in now, I don't tend to leave the tong on my hair for any more than like a couple of seconds. I think maybe like 30 to 60 seconds at a push, because I just, for one, don't really want to expose my hair to that much heat, but for two, this heats up so quick I don't really need it. Now I am at the front bit, and to be honest, I don't really have any kind of like rhyme or reason for how I do this. I kind of am still learning how to make it look really good. I feel like every time I go to the salon it looks perfect, and I just can't get it to look that perfect. I think it just looks better when it's dropped maybe, but basically I curl this bit, which is the bit that gets to my ear. So as you can see, that is like curled to my ear now. And then I have this like excessive amount of hair here. So I try and do it in kind of like 3 sections. So I grab this section here, which is the bit directly above my ear, and I just give that a curl like so. Again, not being too kind of precise with it at all. I just grab random sections, because I think the more random the section you grab, the more beachy and like natural it looks. Well, not natural, because no one has naturally curled hair like that, but the more kind of relaxed and not thought out, I guess you could say. And then as I do it, I kind of just re-grab sections and just give them a bit more of a curl. I find this bit's the hardest to curl in terms of like, it doesn't like curling. As you can see, it's just not wanting to, do it today. So it just takes a lot of going over and probably holding it a little bit more. I think where this is the bit that kind of flips over, and it's the bit that you pay more attention to. See, like now, we're at a place where it looks good, it looks alright. It's just when I get to this little bit. So there's still, as you can see, a lot of hair here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the next section back. I'm going to split this into a couple more just because I think it'll be a bit better. And I'm just going to go ahead and curl the kind of end of it, so not going too close to my root. Okay, so there we have all of the curls. So I'm just going to stand that over there. And then what I tend to do is leave it for like 10 minutes to just really set into the curl before I brush it or shake it out or anything. And I just pop some of this little Olaplex bonding oil in. So I genuinely use the smallest amount. Like, I dab it like this into my hand until there's like the tiniest amount of oil, rub it between my palms, and then literally just like grab pieces of hair and just kind of brush it all through, which I guess is kind of loosening the curl as well, but it just gives the ends a little bit of a nourish. The oil smells insane. And then I also just kind of very, very lightly brush the top of my hair, just because I get lots of wispies, and obviously you don't want wispies. So that's all for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching all the kind of different bits and pieces to do with my hair. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments down below and I will answer all of them. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I upload. There's videos nearly every day of the week at the moment, and yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you in my next one.